everyone. I am in the sewing room today and I'm working on a dress and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to show them my Windfall fabrics from a little jaunt up to Fabric Mart the week before last. Brad and I decided very spur of the moment to go. If you consider that after I got an email saying everything in the store would be $1 a yard, that made the spur of the moment decision. And Brad was game. We usually go up on our anniversary in July. And I said, I don't want to risk it. It might not be on sale still. So I said, we've got to go. It's very urgent. He said, okay, I've got Thursday open. And we decided to go up on Thursday. So we drove up, we had lunch in Reading, which we love to do. We found a new little place there called the Chatty Monks. And I went off of my vegetarianism and had a fantastic fish and chips. Oh my gosh, it was great. We met a really sweet server named Miranda. And Miranda, if you're watching, I'm saying hello to you and thanks for a wonderful lunch. And then we headed over to Fabric Mart. Now, when we walked in, a woman came up to me and she said, may I introduce myself? Of course. And she had her friends along, and it turned out that they are campers and they camp in Airstreams. So those cool silver, you know, almost spaceship looking campers called Airstreams, well, they have quite a following. And these four women were on a camping trip together and they sew and craft and quilt and decided to come over to Fabric Mart from where they were staying. And so Linda said, I've gotten my friends to watch your channel, which is so sweet and endearing. And I said, hey, let's just take a picture. So I'm gonna put up a picture that Brad took of all of us at Fabric Mart. I'll put that in right here. So that kicked off a really wonderful afternoon at Fabric Mart. And yes, everything in the store was $1 a yard. I went upstairs and saw Crystal and I said, am I dreaming? And she said, no, you're not. It wasn't going to be a long sale, but everything was indeed $1 a yard in the store. So I got started right away. Now, I'm not going to show you everything. I got beautiful knits. I got some lovely solid color, you know, black crepe and a lot of solids. I wanted to get solids because I always gravitate toward the prints, of course. So I was able to stock up on those, but some of these finds were absolute standouts, and I have to bring them to you today to show you. This is a gorgeous tie-dye rayon challis. So it's got that beautiful drape that we all know and love. Look at those colors, and I was buying kind of a lot. I mean, I would just say, hey, if there's a reasonable amount on the bolt, I'll just take the whole thing. So mostly in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 yards per cut. And that's what I got of this. I just kind of see a maxi dress out of this one. And I'll go through these kind of fast because I want to get to the good stuff. This is another rayon challis in burgundy tones, dark purple. And that's nice because it's kind of like a diagonal pattern there. So here's the back side. You can definitely tell the back from the front. $1 a yard. This was really pretty and there wasn't very much of it, maybe like 1 1/4. A very light, almost sheer, but in that gorgeous eggplant purple, a very demure floral. And And I believe this is like, I don't know, like a crepe, not a crepe de chine. It's gotta be a blend. Maybe like a crinkle, challis, crepe, hodgepodge, I don't know. I just thought the color was glorious and I got all the rest of that. Now this was not $1 a yard, okay? This funky print, check that out. There's faces on there, there's polka dots, very bold colors. Looks like there's apples, or yeah, I think that's an apple. Well, this is linen. And again, there wasn't a ton of this, just shy of 2 yards, but it wasn't $1 a yard, it was $2 a yard. So I had to break down and pay more, but isn't that crazy? I showed this to Candace and she's like, "What are you gonna make with that, Mom?" I said, "I don't know, but I had to have it. It had to come home with me." Here is a very lovely chambray linen, $1 a yard. Now, I'll just insert this. The fabrics in the store at Fabric Mart, which is to say not anything on the website. They have a little storefront there up in Sinking Spring, and they deeply discount the fabrics. However, they're not labeled, so you don't really know when you pull a bolt down and look at it exactly what the fabric is. So you have to sort of know fabrics a bit. I mean, you obviously know if it's a woven versus a knit, if it stretches, if it doesn't stretch. But I thought these look like linens, and I bought a bunch of them, and when I got home, I did the burn test. And a lot of you know exactly what the burn test is, but Brad didn't. And I called him down from his office and I said, "Do this burn test with me. It's a whole lot of fun." And linen, I looked up and wrote some little notes down here. Here's what happens if you burn linen. It's going to smell like paper or leaves burning. There's kind of a gray smoke. The ash is soft and powdery. It burns very easily. And there's an orange glowing flame. And then after you blow it out, there's a very soft burned edge. So I took these fabrics and just cut a little square off of them. And I just held the square in my cooking tongs and lit them on fire over the sink. I mean, it doesn't like, go up like a huge explosion or anything, but you can blow them out and just sort of, see what you've got. All of these fit the criteria for linen. Now, it could be possible that they have a little bit of cotton or rayon in with them, but from the feel, from the drape, and from the burn test, I think these are linen at an unbelievable steal. So I got this pretty gray one. I got this pretty, very muted stripe. It's almost like a very soft sage green stripe with a pretty selvage. Look at that selvage. I would love to use that selvage in the garment. Burned exactly like linen. This one I'm absolutely certain is linen. And again, not a ton of this one. This one was about 2 yards that I was able to get. Beautiful color, $1 a yard. This, look at this. Now I'm excited because this is linen and there's a lot of it. I have 5 yards of it here, and this is like a really pretty fire engine red stripe. Again, it could have a little bit of cotton rayon in with it, but it burned absolutely beautifully. It's kind of fun. Your whole house smells like you've had a campfire. And, you know, you get to feel kind of scientific doing that. So try the burn test if you don't know exactly what you've bought. This I don't think is 100% linen like the other ones, but it's a really pretty border print. It's a charcoal gray with orange and red, and there isn't a lot of this. Now this says it's Wyndham fabric, so I think this was cotton, but I could swear there's a little linen in there too. And I got about 2 yards of that. This was an interesting one. This definitely has rayon in it. I can just feel it and tell by how it handles that it has rayon in it. And I don't know, that reminded me a little bit of Christmas, but I think it has cherries on it. And stripes with florals going up and down. $1 a yard. Look at this. This is not linen, but this was so pretty, and I bought a bunch of this. A very light crepe in this beautiful shocking pink and white. Kind of a jungle print there. When fabric is $1 and $2 a yard, and it is so beautiful like this, you tend to come home with quite a bit of it. Now, I won't show you all of it, like I said, but here's a beautiful black crepe. Really nice hand, opaque. I love to have lots of black on hand just because, you know, it goes with everything. This one was interesting. It's heavier, and I'm not sure exactly what is in it. It did burn very nicely. I think the idea is that if you put a flame to fabric and it kind of shrinks away from the flame, or you get sort of a plasticky smell and hard edges after you've burnt it, then it's probably a synthetic and a polyester, you know, viscose maybe, something in that class. But these all burned so nicely. I don't think there's a synthetic in the bunch, but this was kind of a pretty nubby sea green, maybe sky blue. I could see a jacket out of this, and it's just as soft as can be. It's got a bit of a sheen to it as well. That was $1 a yard. And I got this, again, this one was a little harder to tell exactly what it is. It's thinner, and it's got a stripe and kind of a chevron shape, chevron print going through it, if you can see that. Bit of a sheen, so cool. Any of these are gonna sew up into gorgeous dresses, jackets, tunics, pants. I can't wait. I have quite a bit of fabric now, and I said to Brad when we got home, I said, okay, I am convinced that I can't go up there for a while. This is a deep, deep wine colored satin back crepe, or crepe back satin. One side is crepe, one side is satin. This one was $2 a yard. And then I did run up, you can search right at the desk where they cut and where you pay. They have a computer set up, and you can look for anything that they feature online and go find it. They'll help you, and you can buy it right then and there. So I did that for 2 last cuts of fabric. They had this pretty, I think they call this one a crinkle challis. It just reminded me of a 1970s kind of print. And this one, challis was on sale that day. So I think it was maybe $5.95 a yard. I went and fetched that one, and I thought this, oh, I know what it was. Cotton was on sale. And this is cotton. It's not rayon. If I'm confused, don't hold me to it, but I do know what I paid for those other fabrics. This one I thought was just so pretty. This is a stretch cotton sateen. and it was not $1 a yard. It was, see the stretch in there? This one was $5.70 a yard, I think. So I bought 3 yards of this. So these two were not in the storefront. These were off of the website. But when I go up there, I am all about that storefront. And they're just so sweet. You can pile up your bolts and they'll just start cutting. And then you get the grand total and just, well, I know that I just squeal with delight. So yes, I'm always yammering on about Fabric Mart, but how can I not? How can I not? Well, as I mentioned, I'm in the sewing room today. I'm working on summer sportswear, and I'm gonna bring that to you early next week. So I will be back then with a makes video to show you my summer sportswear. Otherwise, I'm just hanging out at the pool and kind of doing a whole lot of nothing. But you know, I'm definitely sewing each day, and I hope that you are too. I hope everyone is doing well. Thanks for joining me today. Check out Fabric Mart. Even if you can't get to the store, you know those sales are incredible, and they do those clear the clearance where they say 10% off already marked 60 and 70% off fabric. So, and then they'll do $4.99 shipping. They are king and queen combined in my book. So that was my trip up to Fabric Mart several days ago, and it was wonderful. I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you early next week for some summer sportswear. Bye for now.